Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Scythia in the new player tutorial. So, where we left off, we had just finished off the Khmer, and we're going to go ahead and start working on Baruta. Now, most of the actual work in winning this game has already actually been completed, right? We're already ahead. We're ahead in science, we're ahead in culture. Our military is huge and unstoppable compared to what the AI has. And right now, it's just a matter of managing to efficiently navigate our way to our win condition. So my hope is that we will be able to sort of finish off these guys soon. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that I have yet to build my Saka Horse Archer or my Kurgan, which means I have up to 8 era scores stored up. And this is something I kind of recommend you considering doing. So hopefully we can be able to save those sort of quote-unquote free era score up for when the time comes. So I'm going to go ahead and declare the war on Dido, and once again, I'm going to declare a surprise war. Again, you can denounce and then use a formal war, which will get you less grievances overall, but I'm going to just do surprise wars because this is going to be relatively straightforward and easy to execute. Go ahead and make sure that we take on the slingers, for example. There we go. And one of my generals oversaw that battle. He gets a little bit of era score from me. And we should, in theory, if I can get a general over here, be able to take Carthage in a single turn. If I get enough horses here, there we go. Not quite enough movement speed. However, we should be able to still get the kill. Just about short. Steal that builder and look for things that are worth pillaging. Farms are not worth pillaging in general because, well, let me rephrase that. Farms are not worth pillaging for resources. Farms are worth pillaging for health, because when you pillage farms, you get health and not any resources, whereas this stone quarry would be worth pillaging. We finished a settler over here. Now we want to try to settle coastally for the purpose of building boats to explore across the water. We are going to want to get up to cartography pretty soon. So that's kind of on my mind because we need to cross, this is a continents map, right? So we need to cross the water to get to our the last 2 players in the game. If we have a look around here, where might be good to settle? I think I might settle on these bananas. It's tempting. Where else could I settle? Basically, I just need like a good coastal city. And, well, if I settled here, I could aqueduct to the fresh water. So I think actually we will settle up over here. So we'll send this guy out. Now, I see all this vision here, so I don't need to be scared. The only thing I'm worried about is that Phoenician scout who might steal my settler. I'm going to go ahead and work on a market here to get my gold up. Because again, I'm almost to the point where I have these coursers. And that's going to be an expensive upgrade. Alright, so we have all the farms that we wanted in here. Let's have a look and see where we could do some upgrades. Let's make sure this city is working reasonable tiles. So what we want to look for are tiles with 4 yield or more. There's a 4 yield tile, there's a 4 yield tile, there's a 4 yield tile. And it looks like we didn't find many more. I will be putting a lumber mill over here, for example. I think that's a pretty good thing to do. There's also room for a mine up here, and I think that'll be another thing to do. So I'll use this guy's final build charge to go plop that mine down there. Took a little bit of damage off that warrior, that's fine. Get this builder escaping. We'll use this horseman to kill here. And there we go, a bit of a loyalty problem, but that shouldn't be an issue. And then we'll settle right here. Now in this city, what we're going to be doing is, ideally we would have been working on a galley. Let's go ahead and stop off for a galley in here real quick. And I'll just tell this city to work on a granary for a couple turns. Just want to build up a couple of galleys on the coast here. In order to be able to upgrade those into caravels, to send them across to find where the enemy are, and make our lives easier for conquest. Now we have finished defense tactics and military training, and we want to get to mercenaries because this makes it cheaper to upgrade our units so that our military can be better. So we're going to go ahead and pick up feudalism, which will also allow us to build more units and get extra build actions, as well as improving our farms. It's always a nice set of bonuses. Picking up the hits there. So we will kill this warrior. We'll bring you to here. Bring you to there, you cross. And you're done guarding that settler. So we're kind of getting our army in position. I would like to pillage here. I'll go ahead and just do a chunk of damage to the city because I can. And you are going to be in alert mode to protect this general area, and then we'll just go to the next turn. There are a couple of units hanging around that I need to be wary of. So I'm going to pillage this holy site again. Do I have the raid card plugged in? I do, so I will get extra faith from this, which is excellent. And I will also pillage this. That'll get me extra faith as well. So now I have 200 faith to potentially spend on these things, so what I will do is I'll purchase a granary in here. And this means I can get to work on a galley. And I'll do the same thing over here in Kamianka Dniprovska as well. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of damage to this city with our archers so that we can get those guys leveled up. Bring you up closer. Loop you around. I want to pillage this trader if I could. Unfortunately, I was not able to get that pillage off. Now the city is truly surrounded. And if I could, I might wait a turn to pick up some farm pillages on some of my guys. I'll do just a chunk of damage with this guy. And this will let me pick up some farm pillages for making the war go a little bit easier. I think a farm over here might not be a bad move to give the city a little bit of extra growth, which will let it grow up to what it needs to be. You guys will hang out there. I'm going to place a mine right here, again, because I want to try to get more tiles that are of high value in this city. The higher the value of the tiles that are in the city, the more useful the city will be. Now, it seems like a pretty tautological thing. Better tiles are just better. We shall settle on this rice, and I'm going to be able to show you an interesting interaction with bonus resources right here. If you see here, normally, so this is where I settled on a Plains Hill, so the city center is worth 2 food, 2 production. This is where I settled on a tobacco resource, so it's 2 food, 1 production, 1 faith. Over here, for example, this was settled on a normal place, so it's 2 food, 1 production. If you do the same thing on a bonus resource, like rice, that adds +1 food, when you settle here, you actually get to keep the +1 food. So this is now a 3 food, 1 production capital city. And I don't have to improve or work the rice. So this can be handy if you are a bit limited on what you can do in terms of improving your empire. So I would recommend looking for places where you might want to settle on a resource. I was going to settle coastal, but that's fine. I think this is going to be better in the long run. Now, this city will be purchasing, with faith, a granary to get it growing even faster. And then a watermill would make sense. I want to try and develop the city into a production powerhouse, so probably want to get a builder in here, actually. Probably want to send it a builder. So I might work on just some basic infrastructure. I'm going to want a harbor in here, so I'll place the commercial hub and then the harbor here. And that's because the commercial hub gets bonus adjacency from the harbor, so this will result in the city giving me more gold. I'll be sending builders over here from Issyk or somewhere else, depending on how many settlers I build. Now, I do have the settler card plugged in, and I would like a coastal city on this side of the continent as well, so I will go ahead and grab one more settler. And what I'll do is I will promote Magnus with the provision promotion, because that will make sure that the settlers that I build in my capital will no longer take up a population, which means I can keep growing my capital as I build settlers, and my capital will continue to increase in power level. I'm going to shoot with the archers first, so that I can force extra experience onto them. Let's make sure that we get the pillages for the heals first. And then go for the kill. Get these guys in position. We will be keeping this city. Notice I haven't needed to move any great people around because of my loyalty is very strong. From placing this city, for example, and having Victor in position. And again, we're going to just focus on repairing things. In fact, probably it's better to repair the monument first, because culture is actually more useful than growth is. Go ahead and attack here to do a little bit of damage, get his health low. And let's see if we can't hunt down this scout. Because he's going to pillage me and be very annoying. I'm just going to get into position for the purpose of getting flanking bonuses and all that jazz. You are going to take a moment to heal up. You're going to run back this way. I'm actually going to send you to go repair all these tiles that I pillaged, because I have the builder to repair them that I stole. Is always a bonus. It might seem illogical to send my horseman over here to attack this, but if he counterattacks me, I will be very, very, very strong, because I have so many combat bonuses, right? The +5 versus wounded. I've got 36 versus 28. And now you're ready to move out. You're no longer needed to protect Carthage. Unfortunately, I'm forced into a bit of a choice here to either clear this barb camp or deal with this guy pillaging me. And there are coursers. Make sure we take out this scout so we don't get any more problems from this. And just like that, we cleared the barb camp, we used our stuff, and we just efficiently managed to deal with this threat, and then we can start to focus on this guy. So now I actually have the gold to potentially start upgrading, but I need a little bit more. I need 250 per courser, so you can kind of see while we're working towards mercenaries, because this will make that 125 gold each. Alrighty. Start hammering this city. Now this city is having a bit of a loyalty issue. So we're going to go ahead and grab Victor and reassign him down to this new city. And that will help deal with the loyalty pressure because we're getting a +5 here. Make sure we keep the city as well. And you can see now with the addition of Victor and the garrisoned unit, we're having actually a positive loyalty. So this city will be just fine. And then we just have to take on Tyre, hopefully before they get walls up. If they get walls up, it's a little bit more difficult. So he didn't attack me, so I'm just going to fall back. I'm going to fall back and heal. I was hoping to try to bait him into attacking me. I'm going to send this guy out maybe to see if he can get the chariot to attack him, and then I could use that against him. So at this point, I really, really, really need celestial navigation and cartography to be able to embark, because that's one of the major things that's going to be blocking me from getting across to the other civilizations in the game. And similarly here in Berserk, can I quickly grab a unit to get rid of this scout? What is the fastest unit that I can grab? I'll grab one of my own scouts to go take out this scout, because my scouts are stronger. Alrighty, so we captured another city. Let's go ahead and grab a monument to make the city more useful. And you make your way over here. We're about to get a library in there, which is going to boost our science.
A physician without a knowledge.
And we got the kill. So I still need to deal with this guy. He's being a pain in my backside. Grab ourselves another scout to see if we can deal with that guy. Over here, I could get the watermill or the commercial hub. I think I will grab the watermill first to give the city yet more improvements. Do I want to repair this holy site? What is the religion of Buddhism? Not really, there's no world wonders or anything in here, but I would like to maybe improve this territory a bit. We can do quite a bit to make this better. This city is now officially mine, so let's go ahead and focus on food and production over here and here. I could also swap this tile to give this city something to work, because it's kind of not underdeveloped, it doesn't have enough tiles, basically is what I'm saying. It doesn't have enough tiles for its citizens to work, so it was working the campus slot, which is, you know, not ideal. This guy was going to head up here to improve that, and I was going to put a farm triangle to make the city better, so I'll chop to force growth in here. The idea behind forcing growth is that you can work more tiles that are good. Because when you chop a jungle, you get production and food, and the food will force the population to grow. It's not like I'm really forcing the city. I just call it forced growth, like the name I give it. And I'm gonna cheekily buy this tile so I have a nice farm triangle set up. Then we'll grab ourselves a builder to maybe build that. So it looks like the bait on this guy worked. And so we took him out and got the heal. Go ahead and get into position on our enemy. Position a horseman in this city to protect it. From loyalty pressure from Tyre. And we'll try to pillage most of the stuff in here. Like the theater square will definitely be getting pillaged. This spice will be getting pillaged. And that's about it. I won't pillage anything else. Okay, so over here in Beruta, I'm going to repair that. You're going to come in through and see if you can't get these tiles repaired as well. So unfortunately, she is attacking me with biremes, which kind of makes me want to speed up the pace of conquest and not actually go for what the original plan was. To see if we can't avoid this city being retaken, because that would be exceptionally annoying. Oh, I forgot to move my Great General in range of all of these units. That is a mistake. That is the difference between killing the city and not killing the city. It's okay. It's like a small optimization error. Go ahead and see if we can chase this guy down and get rid of him. He's causing me issues. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves a builder in here. And on the other hand, I will grab that science because I need to get to cartography faster, so I will grab the library to try and get there faster, because it's about a 10% increase in my science. You'll take a moment to heal up. I wish I had the gold to upgrade this, because then I could make this city impossible for them to take. I don't think he has a melee unit in the area, but I think we should be fine. Make sure we're working the good stuff in here. Okay, yeah, these are all reasonable. Chase him down. We'll do the chopping first, so that we get the second builder out faster. I'm wondering if Istanbul dealt with that. They're attacking, so they are losing health. First civic. And there is feudalism. So with feudalism, I'm going to go ahead and plug in serfdom. And leave everything else the way it is. The serfdom is worth more than the +1 production, in my opinion, because builders can give you so much more than +1 production. So I was going to pillage all that stuff, but I decided against it in order to take the city and eliminate her as fast as possible. And now I got to start moving my army up towards the Ottomans before they get a significant amount of technology or army to resist me. What I'll do is I'll just hold my mouse over here to see what the most efficient path is. And start following it. Better to move your units yourself. I'm going to take double envelopment. Horses. I'm focusing on that particular promotion, but you don't have to focus on that one. That's just like my own personal decision that I'm making here. For the purpose of speeding things up a little bit, I think I've shown the most important bits of this strategy and how you execute, from start to finish on how to do something. But we'll just play it out to show off the The mechanics, we're going to work our way towards mercenaries, and by the time our army is in position, say in Anchor Thumb, we should have this card and be able to upgrade relatively cheaply and have, roughly enough gold to achieve our goals. Looks like he decided to kill himself on me. That's okay. These tiles are still worth working. Alrighty. So I'm thinking a settler here on the Plains Hill has access to a wide variety of resources. The game is recommending over here, for example, because it's freshwater and stuff, but I think I'd like to settle over here preferably. Also recommending down here, and I do agree that this would be an okay place to settle, but I would much rather settle over here. And still some room to settle. I think settling is a little bit redundant at this point now. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a campus. At this point we are snowballing, we no longer need to settle cities. I just wanted a couple of cities over by this coastline. So I could get maybe a galley or two to quickly find the other continent and kill the other AIs. Let's go ahead and choose what to do here in Beruta. Well, first, of course, you want to get this city repaired and up and running. The positioning of the city means that it is better for a commercial hub, I feel. And the best spot for that commercial hub would actually be on this wheat tile, because if I place it here, I won't be able to get a good farm triangle without getting rid of this. But if I place it on the wheat, I can put a farm triangle here, and then the city will be really, really good at growing. So I'm going to prioritize getting this up, but I don't think I'm going to actually work on the holy side. I will get a watermill first, because I need the city to develop before it's really super useful. Repair the granary in here as usual, just focus on repairing things. We'll chop out that builder, it'll be ready next turn. And it will be ready with extra build charges, which is the best part. I'm going to have these guys, eventually these guys are going to be scouting with my boat, so I'll want to have my scouts on the edge of the continent to be able to go over there. Let's get these farms placed to make a farm triangle here for Anchor Thumb. Now let's think and talk about what we want to do next. This city is looking like it's mostly geared towards light development. Oh, by the way, I can show off the really, really high yield farms over here. 4 food, 4 food, 4 food, 4 food, 1 production, 3 food, 1 production, and 4 food. See, this one's getting boosted twice. It is originally a 1 food, 1 production tile. It gets +1 from the farm, and then another +2 from having 2 adjacent farms twice. Makes this city into a really good growth center. And let's go ahead and have a think about how we want to position our people. We want to ideally focus on tiles with 4 yields or more. So I'm going to focus on the horses and the deer, and then this tile for certain, and then this tile, and then this tile. And then these look like a good spread of tiles to work as well. So this city will grow very, very rapidly. It currently has a surplus of 12.6 food, so it's growing extremely rapidly. Let's go ahead and get another builder in here for the purpose of chopping and developing and maybe getting extra gold if we can. You're heading this way. Going to repair that farm. Just kind of generally making our way in this direction. You go there and take the promotion. We killed 2 of the AIs that we were looking to kill. You're heading up here to just do a little bit of casual scouting for me. Kind of like this guy. Just kind of want to know what he has. Looks like he's got horsemen, which is a totally fine unit for him to have. Across the river. And lumber mill there actually appeals to me too, because it would give that city a better tile to work. You'll notice I'm not going for the crossbowmen. That's because I'm waiting for this era to end. I want this era to end so that I can build a Saka horse archer, because if I unlock... Because these are ranged class units, they will become obsolete with the advent of crossbowmen, I believe. I would have to double, triple check that. Am I being forward settled by the Ottomans? Why, a free city that I can conquer. How joyful. Now, when you get into like really advanced gameplay, you can like attack people in multiple directions and stuff like that. The city is close to its growth limit. However, I will focus on this because I can get a granary in here from chopping with this builder that comes out. In fact, I will prioritize the granary in here to get the city growing more, and I'll even chop a bit. Growth is important. You want to try to get up to your growth limit because then the city is outputting at its maximum capacity. I want you to head over there, you to head over here.
Without mathematics,
there is mathematics, and we're on the way to shipbuilding. I can place harbors, right? Yes. Okay, so we're working on shipbuilding, which will lead to buttresses, and then that'll lead to cartography, which will allow me to get caravels and embark. So this city definitely needs like a granary watermill, so I'll do that. Granary watermill, it'll be more useful. I'll just kind of let it develop on its own. It'll eventually get help. And we'll go ahead and repair the buildings. Because again, repairing buildings is just like a reasonable way to use a conquered city's production. I want to try and get up to this road if at all possible with these units. Lumber mill right there, that'll give me mass production. More importantly, it'll give me a tile that is really high quality. Now I could have chopped that tile because it is a woods tile, but it is not on a hill, so I wanted to keep it because it's going to be a really productive tile if I keep it. And we'll get you guys moving up this way. Now you are going to head back to start chopping some of this jungle to force the city to grow and to finish the granary. So in this instance, I'm going to chop these 3 because these have hills on them, and then I can replace those with mines, and I can feed the city with farms. And then I'll put lumber mills on the flatland ones. So I want to be careful about how I do this because you want to keep your flatland forests and jungles because they help prevent drought problems, and they also give you tiles that you can get production from later in the game. In previous iterations of the game, I would have recommended just chopping everything, but now with the advent of the power of lumber mills in the June update, so I think the most important thing is to get the city back up and running the way it was. Now this city is at its growth limit, right? So we don't need quite so much food. So what we can do is we can unlock all the tiles. We can say, hey, prioritize production, de-emphasize food. That's still a good tile. So food is now deprioritized and production is prioritized. That means the city will preferentially work production over food since it's at its growth limit. Now we could increase the growth limit through various means. And right now what I want is more gold. I need more gold income to be able to upgrade my army. Right over here, we got the watermill. Let's go ahead and work on our gold income to be able to upgrade our army again. I will improve this because that becomes actually a workable tile in the not too distant future. More importantly, it gives me access to coffee, which I don't believe I had access to coffee. Oh, I did. A bit of a mistake there. That's fine. So this city is in a bit of a weird spot in that there's not really much I can do to develop it really efficiently. So what I'm probably going to do is to spam builders in here. There's not really a place to put a good district, so I will just often... well, not often, but sometimes I will just say, I'm not going to place a district. This city will just help develop other cities that do have good district spots. We are going to work on a galley in here. Again, I want to have a couple of galleys ready, hopefully before I get cartography, so that I can explore more actively to find the other continent. You actually shouldn't heal there. We're just moving our army casually up in the direction of our enemies. I wonder what my superhero name would be. If I had one. Perhaps people could give me a name. I don't know where that thought came from, okay? Sometimes you're just sitting around and these thoughts swim into your head and you just gotta say them, man. You know? There could be some really nice farms in here. We'll think about that. We've got a builder charge. What could we do with this builder charge? We could go improve that chocolate right there. Make that into an even better tile. It's already a really good tile. Let's go ahead and just jump across the river here somewhere nice and safe. Take a turn to heal on you. And now we're just kind of... Alright, there's mercenaries. So what we want to do is plug out colonization since we are done colonizing. We did get a couple of extra colonies, which is always nice. And then we're going to go ahead... And now I could plug in maritime industries, which might not be a bad move, but I don't really have room for it. So I will be plugging in professional armies. And this will allow me to upgrade to coursers. So coursers have 44 combat strength, which is 8 more than horsemen, which is a significant boost for 120 gold. So now I have 2 coursers who will make my life easier. So if we look at the damage that these guys can do, I guess I'll have to wait until we're actually at war before I can show you that. So now we also want to pick a direction about where we want to go. I believe, I cannot remember, is mercantilism that allows me to build lumber mills on rainforest. So now that we have mercenaries, we need to make a decision about which government we would like to go for. Merchant Republic would be a straight up upgrade. However, Divine Right is very interesting. Now, Merchant Republic also has the better naval military units, and since Navy is going to be a big part of the next phase of our operations, I'm going to go ahead and go up to Merchant Republic and then find a naval city that's well developed. So, for example, Tyre over here is pretty well developed, and I'll station Magnus. Although, let me just, or not Magnus, sorry, Victor. Yeah, I believe I should be able to assign Victor to Tyre, and any naval military units that I make here will get a free promotion. Although I will have to kind of double check that. I'm just getting basic infrastructure in these really new crappy cities. I have 1 envoy. I could take one in Hong Kong, or I could take Suzerainty of Akkad, which would give me some nice bonuses. So I will go ahead and take Suzerainty of Akkad, because that means I can actually walk through his territory a little bit easier. And we're just doing the normal sort of navigation through the terrain. Nothing too fancy or worth giving tips over there. It's a good spot to stand for information, although one might recommend not standing near an active volcano. This is a flatland forest. I'm going to go ahead and plop a lumber mill right there. Jump up here to get chopping. So you're in position to go exploring when the time comes. Repair that, and you can, after you give a unit an order, if you know exactly what they want to do next, rather than having to be like told by the game, oh, this unit needs orders, what you can do is you can just select that unit and then give it the order, and it'll make its way over there without you having to actually like micromanage it. And that's a really nice thing that I use to make the game flow a little bit better. I definitely recommend you do that. Like in this instance, I know exactly where I want this guy to go, and he'll make his way over to that jade without me having to interact with him this turn. So that's a nice little thing that just makes the game run a little bit smoother in terms of that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and work on the library in here. Although I guess an argument could be made that I don't actually need the libraries anymore. I have all the science that I need. I'm already building one over here. Perhaps you could make the argument that it's time to start building more units. And I think that's a valid argument. I'm going to start building... I'm going to start pre-building warriors for when I get gunpowder, which is going to be the next step. I'm going to be picking up military engineering. So I'll probably pre-build a couple of warriors. You were actually supposed to become a swordsman at some point, but that just never happened. So now again, this guy has a bunch of grievances against us, but again, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I declared a friendship with him. So we're going to have to wait 7 turns before we can kill this guy. That is annoying. I declared a friendship with him for a good reason to show off a thing, but I guess in the end it's kind of like, now it's kind of in my way and I wish I hadn't done it. You know? That's okay. It gives us time to just sit around and prepare our army for the upcoming war. Make sure you don't declare friendships with people that you plan to kill, because it just makes your life a little bit harder. Eventually we want to send builders over there, so I'm just building empire-wide infrastructure. Empire-wide infrastructure is stuff like builders, traders, trade routes, all that sort of stuff. Anything that can apply to anywhere, like any sort of production that can be moved around, I consider empire-wide infrastructure. And that's really, really important to improve your empire-wide infrastructure over other things. Things like spies are empire-wide infrastructure because they are limited and very powerful. So that's the important thing there, is they are both limited and very, very powerful. So for example, this market is really, really valuable because it gives me a trade route, which is an empire-wide piece of infrastructure. I have an envoy. I'm going to hold onto this envoy before I place it in Hong Kong. Go ahead and get ourselves lined up here. You are going to place that mine right there. Now we're working a bunch of food tiles and a couple of production tiles, which is always nice. There was a bit of a misconception. Someone said to me that you have to click the fortify until healed button in order for a unit to heal. I just want to confirm that that is not how it works. Even though I simply told this unit right here to wait until to skip its turn, it will still heal. Any action, well, here's a simpler way to say it. If a unit has its full movement at the end of its turn, it will almost always restore health regardless of what action you told it to do. Okay. That is how the game's logic works, I believe. Someone may know the exact nuance to that, but it's something along those lines. If the unit has its full movement points, it will heal regardless of what you tell it to do. So we can actually double check that, right? Guy has 87 health. Oh, and you can also, if you hover over this, you can see what the bonuses are affecting a unit. And there we go. My builder got over here to repair this. So now, I know for a fact that I would like to maybe send him over here to improve this city. So I might as well just like click, go build those mines for me. Get the city up and running. And we got a galley as well. I'm going to send this galley to the edge of my borders to be ready to be turned into a caravel. And so ideally, when you're going for any sort of domination game, these are all really nice, but what you really, really want is gold. So I would recommend organizing this by gold, and then just clicking on whatever gives you the most gold. And I'm going to build another trader in here for empire-wide infrastructure, because, you know, empire-wide infrastructure is important. Over here, we completed the watermill. So we're not under threat of being attacked or anything like that, so I don't think we need any walls or anything. If we look through here, so I'm asking the question of what sort of empire-wide infrastructure could I, or what kind of infrastructure could I build in here that would help my empire? And right now, I believe that it's either builders to send to other cities to help them out, because this city has finished its important stuff, or I could build something like a commercial hub, or repair the holy site to get extra faith, because I am suzerain of Valletta. And so that would not be completely without value. So we will go ahead and repair the holy site in here, because that represents a decent amount of faith that I can use to convert into other stuff that might be useful. Particularly might be useful to be able to purchase walls as I conquer other civs on the other continent. And we'll just click this button down here and go ahead and get another galley. So yeah, that's where we are right now. We just finished conquering the Phoenicians. We should hopefully get to the point where we're going to conquer the Ottomans. We're only 5 turns away from being able to break our friendship and get some work going. Let's go ahead and get you to retreat away from that archer. Yeah, so should be pretty easy. And then it's just a simple crossing of the water, and then we're done. Anyway, I love you all very much. Hopefully you were getting an idea of how you can snowball your games pretty easily at Prince and start building up your confidence to maybe move up to higher difficulties. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!